Hi guys, my name is Tyler Naef. I'm from the PTSMC East Hampton location. I'm here today in the Wallingford Clinic speaking to our athletic trainers, going over some different stretching techniques and other treatment techniques that they could be using for their athletes. There's plenty of injuries that occur within these sports. These athletic trainers are going to be able to help treat these injuries within their clinic, and then they can always refer out to us, and we can see them in the clinic as well. Some common things that we usually see along the spring season are quad strains, calf strains, potentially shin splints in our running population, and then for thinking about our softball and baseball players, we might see some rotator cuff strains or some shoulder injuries, and then anything potentially down in the elbow or wrist from the volume of throwing that they're doing. So all of these things can be treated by athletic trainers and then potentially be treated by the physical therapist as well in the clinic. I wanted to give you guys some tips and tricks that you can use before going into competition for your spring sports to get you ready and performing at the top level. So if we're thinking about any type of body part, we always want to have a dynamic warm-up moving into the sport. So if you're going to be going into competition, there should always be a warm-up involved, anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes upwards to an hour. That's definitely on the higher end. But we want to make sure that we're warming up dynamically to get those muscles ready and activated for the sport that you're going to be performing. Afterwards, we want to be thinking about more of a cool down and a time to taper it off, and that's where we're going to get more of our static stretching. So moving through some things where you might be stretching out your quads, you might be stretching out your shoulder or some of the muscles in the arm as well. After participation in a sport, I do want to show you some movements that you guys should be doing to help prevent injury and getting that cool down in that taper period after participating in sports. So I'll give you some good little static stretches here that you can be doing. So I'll start off by showing you some stretches that you can do for the legs after competition. A very common one that we'll do is just a regular quad stretch. Definitely want to be stretching these muscles out after competition because there is that potential to injure them. Say you're running to first base, or you're really pushing off of that leg during a track meet or something like that. We definitely want to get these stretches in following to make sure we're having optimal muscle length tension. So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be standing there, you're going to grab your right heel or left heel, and you're going to stand there, you're going to pull back with your arm so your knee is approaching your butt, and you should feel a stretch right through your thigh muscle in here. Another one we'll commonly do is a calf stretch, and what you can do there is you can find a wall or any structure that's stable. You can go up against it, you're going to put one foot back, make sure that heel is staying on the ground, and you're just leaning into that stretch, and you can feel that stretch right through your calf, and you might even feel it on the front leg a little bit. We commonly do that one for runners, as there is a lot of shin splints and other things that are going on down in that region with increasing competition levels. Some other stretches that we would do for the upper body would be some stretches for the wrist flexors or wrist extensors. We do this a lot with softball players and baseball players. So if you get a fully extended arm with the hands up, you're going to just take your other hand, come across the fingertips there, and pull up on your wrist. And you should feel a decent stretch through the forearm muscles on this side, and vice versa. You can come down and pull on the top side of your wrist, bending towards you, and you should feel some stretch right on the top side of the forearm there. Some other stretches for a little bit higher towards the shoulder and even in the upper arm region. You can get your arm up over the top, come over with your other hand, pull down until you feel a little stretch in through the tricep region there. These can be always performed on both sides. For baseball and softball players, most oftentimes you're going to be stretching the dominant side, the one that you're mostly throwing with. But if you wanted to do the other side to keep things balanced, that's appropriate as well.